ruin our stats. They're not very happy.
And right in 2000, whatever, in 1999 to 2000.
The part that everybody kept focusing on, the bad part.
Yeah, well, no, that was the 1 year you used the book rights and everyone failed. And then you went to your system and that's so cool.
I think I turned
You
it
raised
around.
my system forever. Wasn't alive. Is this filming, by the way? I'm aware you're just having a conversation. Is it filming?
I turned in my notes.
All right. Let's get started on regression, shall we? In 5, 4, 3. And now it's time. This is how I realized it starts. Be looking at somebody. All right. And now it's time for lesson 12-4, which is the last, your final non-tidbit section of the entire year. How about that? Momentous occasion.
I'll be here next year.
Of course, yeah. We'll do lots of those next year. Okay. What is this on the board?
I just fixed it. What was that?
That's what I like to
It's
know.
about man catching.
Okay, we're playing advertisements in the hall. All right, we're on filming. Okay.
Yeah, and they'll see you tearing it
Sit,
up.
stay.
Roll over.
Okay. Now. All
I can't
right.
believe I just obeyed that.
Now, well, you should.
Get up, get up.
Okay, Nexium dosages. Now, we have a chart here, and on the left column, in the left column there we have the weight of a human being. In the right column we have an amount. Now, if you're going to be a nurse or a doctor, you better get this right. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble and put somebody else in trouble. All right? So you definitely want to get this right. So, let's go down here to this. How do we enter all this business? Okay, in the first box, let's do this. Okay, give ourselves some instructions so we can remember this later. In the first box, let's put down the button that we want to push to make lists, and that would be what button? Okay, if you go to the stat, if you did the buzzword, maybe some of you remember doing this like a year ago, a year and a half ago, it's been a while, right?
Edit.
Okay, so maybe it's coming back. Stat and then 1, which is edit. Okay. All right, so hit stat 1. And first of all, let me give you this. Probably most of your lists are empty already, okay, before you put some stuff in, but if they're not, let me show you how to clear them, because we'll use this today, of course. What you want to do is you want to, don't actually delete each line one at a time, of course, that's a long way. Just highlight list 1, okay, and then you can hit the button clear. Nothing happened. Well, then hit enter. Clear plus enter. And it'll wipe out an entire column. If there was something already there you want to get rid of, you can just highlight the column, clear, enter, it's gone. Okay, which is nice. All right, so that's the 3 boxes, first 3 boxes on your worksheet there, which we're going to do later. And the 4th box, let's just put down the word repeat, because you'll just repeat that for each row or each column that you're going to delete. And then finally, we will enter the numbers or the data. All right. So once you get your list nice and clear there, you can enter all the stuff here, which perhaps you've already done. All right, that, oh my gosh, I got stuff left over from last class. So I'm going to do clear enter and clear enter. Okay, so if you type in this list here, we've got 100 pounds, 140 pounds, 180 pounds. Just a general table here. They can't list every possible weight in the entire world. But we will use some regression action here to calculate and predict. All right, so we got all that stuff in. Okay, now, how to graph. The graphing is not mandatory, it's optional, okay? But if you want to draw a graph, you can kind of see what all this looks like. Okay? Do that to special guest here. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so let's do this.
Let's do it.
All right, to graph. Remember how we always hit the y equals button to graph? Okay. However, this is stat right here. So instead of doing y equals, we will access something that is very close to y equals. Matter of fact, right above it, we'll do stat point, which is like graphing for stat point.
Oh, I don't
Okay.
remember this.
So everybody hit second y equals. And the remind myself of that. Second plus y equals. All right, and that'll allow me to graph a scatter plot instead of a curve. Now, is your plot one off right now?
Yes.
No.
Where's it on?
It's on.
Okay?
I just turned it on.
All right, fine.
Mine's on.
Okay,
That's on.
so anyway, if you go ahead and turn that on, so if you hit enter, and on, or sorry, off is probably selected at first, so you want to hit on, just hit enter again. Okay. All right, so we'll do
I could play with it.
basically enter twice, and that'll turn it on, because otherwise you won't be able to see it. Okay. All right, now, let's do this. We want to graph this. So let's go to, hit the graph button.
You have to clear your y equals.
Okay. And yeah, I think if you have anything in y equals, it might show up, right?
Nothing showed up.
That's okay. If nothing showed up, that's all right. There's a reason. But if you have a curve that showed up that you did from your homework, you need to clear that out. So if you go over to y equals and just clear out your equations, it'll work. Okay? So clear out any curves that you have in there from your homework. And when you hit graph, I see nothing. There's nothing there.
I see nothing.
So how do you get to it? Okay? That's right. The window's in the wrong place. So here's the shortcut. Everybody hit zoom. And even better than zoom fit,
Oh, what?
there's a special one. Zoom stat will look for your stats. List and find it. Isn't that nice? So everybody do zoom 9, and sure enough, it'll find our information. And there's a scatter plot. Okay? Okay, anybody see some dots across your screen there?
It's a snake.
Okay. It's kind of my curvy there, isn't it? Now, the last thing you should ask yourself is, what type do I have here? Okay, what type of curve is this? All right, so we have 4 choices that we will be talking about: linear, exponential, logarithmic, or sinusoidal. Okay, what does this? What do you think this appears to be on this chart? Interesting question. It looks like it could be several things. Although think about body weight continuing to go up and the dosage of Nexium continuing to go up as well. I think it's just going to keep going up forever. All right, so it's probably going to be linear. You can do a line of best fit. It's going to be pretty close to that. Now, if it was a sine, it would come back down, but actually the weights will just keep going up on the chart. So in that case, it almost kind of looks like a sine, but probably going to be a real life line. Okay, it's line of best fit. So circle linear. And typically on the final exam, they will give you what type you're doing, so you don't have to guess. They'll say, do a linear regression. You already know. Okay? So there you go. So we're playing. All right. So find the linear regression or line of best fit for this data. So let's do this first. All right. Linear regression. How do we do it? All right. Let's go back to what, again, that we've already visited today. You want to do it? Go back to stat. But this time,
Calc.
do stat, and we're going to calculate. Okay, stat calc. Okay, so arrow over. All right. Now, in the next box, what are we looking for here on our list? Everybody see number 4? Okay. Number 4 is linreg, which is of course short for linear regression. So go to number 4, and we're going to select that. Now it just goes to the home screen and does nothing. So you have to hit enter again to have it actually calculate. Okay. Now we'll put that in the last box, hit enter again. Okay. And sure enough, it gave us some numbers there and did a little calculation. Okay. All right. Now, does everybody see that the formula is given to you on the screen? It actually says y equals ax plus b, which is identical to y equals mx plus b. It's the same thing, right? So you've got the formula. All you have to do is take the a and the b, put it into the formula, and write it in the blank, and you got the answer. So I'm looking for the answer, y equals 0.2375x minus 4.75. Okay? Now, when you do these, usually we chop to 3 places, right, nearest 1,000. When you do these, put every decimal that it says in the calculator, because they want every decimal. All right, put them all. Especially when you start looking at really big numbers that will shift the decimal a couple of times, and it really matters what you put down. Okay? Notice I did not put the 0 at the end or the zeros at the end of this. Those are not significant digits, so you can drop off the zeros. Everything else put in there. Okay? And that line would approximate this information in the chart, right there, that data. Okay, a little bit of opportunity. All right, now, in part C, use the linear regression we just found to approximate the dosage needed for a person who weighs 110 pounds. 110 is not in the chart, but we're going to figure it out. Okay, future nurses and doctors. Hey, don't mess this up. Where do we plug in 110? Into that equation for x. Okay? Does everybody see on the work there, on the notes? Does everybody see that the weight column is kind of like the x column? Because we put it first. The other one's the y column, so that tells you where to plug it in. Okay? You've got x's, you've got y's. So make sure you put it in for x, not for y. Sometimes you do plug it in for y. Depends on the problem. Like if I gave you, this is the dosage, and said, how much does this person weigh? You'd be plugging it in for the y. So, y of 110 equals 0.2375 times 110 minus 4.75. And obviously that is not something you want to do in your head. This is where the calculator actually comes in handy. Okay?
Could you do that, Mary?
Well,
He could, I couldn't.
yeah, it'd be a pain. You guys can do it on paper.
Rain Man.
It would also be a pain.
Milligrams.
So you get that, your units are milligrams, very good. So 31.375. Now, I will take this answer right here. I like that answer because it has the decimal places. On the final exam, though, in the multiple choice, they usually do not put that answer. Okay, here's why. Look at the column of all the milligrams, all the dosage. You notice what they're in? They're all in just whole numbers. Okay, but they're whole numbers. They're not tens, hundreds, thousands. They're whole numbers. So they'll match that, and in the multiple choice, they will just put 21 because it rounds down. Okay? So they'll just put 21 milligrams in the multiple choice.
So if we put 21 on the test, is it wrong?
I would take 21, that's okay. I like this one, but just kind of get used to this one for the exam. Now, if that whole column was in tenths, they would want tenths in the multiple choice. Okay? So you'll know which one it is, you'll be able to spot it. Yeah, but that doesn't always work though. It doesn't necessarily stay to that. That's kind of a coincidence. Because that line can be, some of those dots can be farther off the line and it's a worse approximation. So I wouldn't trust that, I'd trust the line. Right, yeah, so that makes a change, yeah.
Is this true?
It's true.
What's next?
All real stuff. Acid reflux.
I had that.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I take Nexium every day. Bad
I
stuff.
talked to my doctor. Is this?
That's right. I talked to my doctor about Nexium. Okay. And what do you like to read?
Draw the purple pill
40.
on the.
If you're smoking, there's, yeah. Do not take Nexium if you are pregnant.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay, so that's how to do that one. That's not bad, very bad, is it?
No.
Pretty easy.
I'm a bundle of liars.
Oh, yes, on the back, we have an appearance by Uverse. Uverse who's been banned from from YouTube.
We haven't
Yes.
been banned yet.
Wow. That's all right, I recorded the audio before they banned it, thank goodness.
You what?
So now it pops up on my iPod at random times.
What did they ban?
Uverse commercials.
Oh,
I've got lots of shit.
play it. Did you read why?
Just took a couple seconds, but I just happened to record it.
That they had copied it from some.
Yeah.
How do you record stuff on YouTube?
Oh, if you're clever, you can do it.
It's called you have a Mac.
And I'm listening to songs on my iPod, and all of a sudden, little bundle of buddies.
It's
Pops
called
up.
Garage.
Cheers me up every time. I'm poopful for 3 days. What happened? Oh, yes.
Nothing.
This is a joke. All right, now,
Gotcha.
all right, you boys. Let's see what we have here. U.S. households without the internet. Can you believe in 1990, 100% of households had no internet?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
I can believe it.
Okay. Why, because it seems like ancient history to you? It seems like just yesterday to me.
Was internet real?
Okay, you'll see someday. Anyways, okay. It debuted in 1991, actually. Remember all the commercials, like the World Wide Web is coming. We're like, what is this? Pointless thing, all right? And then sure enough, it changed everything. All right? So,
That's why we changed it.
now, by 1995, which is just like shortly before I came to Page High School,